So the now next concept under composition scheme is a section under section 10, concept 8. What do you mean by aggregate turnover? So aggregate turnover means total turnover. Turnover means total sales of preceding financial year. This is very important, friend. Preceding financial year. So what all is included in aggregate turnover? When you are going to compute aggregate turnover, you should consider taxable supply. Obviously, it will form part of your turnover. So this is your turnover. If this is your profit and loss account, if you have sold taxable goods, will it form part of the aggregate turnover? Yes. Taxable supply will form part of aggregate turnover. Export supply. Oh, export supply. Export supply. Will it form part of aggregate turnover? Export supply will also form a part of aggregate turnover. Then exempt supply. Okay. Exempt supply. Exempt supply means a exempt supply have three further category. Please remember that exempt supply means supply which is taxable at nil rate, supply which is taxable at nil rate, supply which is the taxable which is wholly exempt, supply which is wholly exempt. Wholly exempt means 100% exempt, that we are going to learn in chapter number 4. What all is exempt in GST law, and supply which is the not a taxable supply. So what do you mean by not taxable supply? Alcoholic liquor for human consumption is a not taxable supply. Okay. Petroleum products are not taxable supply. So even non-taxable supply forms part of exempt supply, because ultimately this is your turnover. You have sold these goods, so it should be included in the calculating limit. See, here we are not computing tax. Please understand, here we are not computing tax. Here we are checking whether you are a big trader of India or you are small trader of India. And to check that, the condition is on turnover. The condition is on turnover, and because we are computing your turnover, whether you are a big or a small or a medium, that depends on your aggregate turnover of all possible sales. So what all sales you can do? You can do a taxable supply sales, you can do export sales, you can also do exempt sales, which is taxable at nil rated or wholly exempt or even not taxable. So everything will be considered while checking your eligibility for composition scheme. So what if I'm making interstate sale? If you are making interstate sale, interstate supply, even that will be calculated here in an aggregate turnover. So whether you are making taxable supply, or you are making export supply, or you are making exempt supply, or you are making interstate supply, you can make any supply and that will be included in an aggregate supply. Did you understand this? Yes, sir. We have considered all taxable supply here, but please remember, if you have sold goods worth rupees 10 lakh and you have charged GST of 18% on that, so though you are going to receive 10, not 18, 1 lakh 80,000, you will be receiving 11 lakh, you will be receiving 11 lakh 80,000 from your parties, 11 lakh 80,000 from your parties. But can you tell me whether this GST, this is the sales value and this is the GST value that you have charged from your party, whether this 1,80,000 is your income? Answer is no. You have just collected this tax amount from your customers to pay to the government, and therefore this 1,80,000 is not your income at all. What is your income or what is your sales is this 10 lakh, and therefore GST law says while considering aggregate turnover, please remember, do not take what money has credited to your bank account, because that money may include even GST component that you have collected from the customer on behalf of the government, and you are going to pay to the government. So please remember, GST should not be considered as a part of aggregate turnover. So the turnover that you are considering for eligibility should be exclusive of GST and not inclusive of GST. This is also very important aspect. Okay. Apart from that, you need to know whenever you purchase or whenever you take certain services, maybe you have taken a lawyer services, or maybe you have taken a director services, or maybe you have taken certain goods on which RCM is applicable. So whenever you take certain inputs on which RCM is applicable, reverse charge mechanism is applicable, you being because supplier will not pay the tax, you being a recipient will pay the tax. You are going to pay tax on these inputs, but is it your outward supply? Is it your turnover? You are just paying tax on this, but is it your outward supply? Answer is no, and therefore a taxable input supply on which RCM is applicable should not consider part of your turnover. So let's look at this. What is included in a turnover? What is included in a turnover here? Very important concept. What is included in turnover? Taxable supplies are included in a turnover. Interstate supplies are included in a turnover. Export supplies also included in a turnover. Exempt supplies also included in a turnover. And exempt supply has further defined as it includes nil rated supply, fully exempt supply, and even non-taxable supply. And any other tax. If there is any other tax, then it will be included in the turnover. Maybe custom duty, maybe VAT, maybe excise. If there is any other tax, then it will be included in the value of aggregate turnover. But what is not included in aggregate turnover is CGST, HGST, IGST, UTGST, any GST says. That means any type of GST should not be forming part of your aggregate turnover while checking the eligibility limit of 150 lakh or 75 lakh. Value of inward supply on which tax is payable under reverse charge basis. Value of inward supply on which tax is payable under reverse charge basis. This is your inward supply. This cannot form part of your outward supply. So law is giving clarification here that please do not consider, though you are liable to pay tax on it, you are not supposed to consider inward supply as a part of aggregate turnover. Very explanatory in nature. So far as interest is concerned, this is the recent amendment. So please understand, friend, if this is your profit and loss account, okay, if this is your profit and loss account and you have sold certain goods, okay, sale of goods maybe 28 lakh, okay, sale of goods 28 lakh, and you have earned interest on FD. You kept some fixed deposits, and on that you have earned certain interest on fixed deposit 1 lakh. So your income is 29 lakh. Your income, your revenue is 29 lakh, but your turnover, business turnover is only 28 lakh. This interest is not a core business activity, and therefore this should not form part of aggregate turnover. Earlier there was no clarification on this. Now law has given a clear-cut clarification on this, that interest should not form part of aggregate turnover. Interest should not form part of aggregate turnover. This should be excluded, or this should not be included while checking the eligibility limit. And this should be computed on all India basis. This should be computed on all India basis means, as I told you in a previous lecture, if I have one branch in Maharashtra, my turnover is 80 lakh, okay, and I have another branch in Kerala, then my turnover is 70 lakh, okay, or I will take 90 lakh, okay, there my turnover is 90 lakh. So if you look at the eligibility from Maharashtra angle, I haven't crossed 150 lakh, okay, in Maharashtra. If you check eligibility from Kerala angle, there also I haven't crossed 150 lakh. So state-wise, please understand, state-wise I haven't crossed 150 lakh here and 150 lakh here. So state-wise you may call me eligible, but government is saying, no, you don't understand this. Likewise, then assessee will be doing turnover in Maharashtra 140 lakh, Kerala 140 lakh, Gujarat 140 lakh, Tamil Nadu 140 lakh, and every other state 75 lakh or 1 lakh. Then if he is having multi-state business, please understand, and he is doing turnover of 20 lakh, 40 lakh, 60 lakh in each state, he will become very big trader. So therefore, he should not be eligible for composition scheme. And therefore, government is saying whenever you are checking the eligibility, we are not paying tax here. Again, I am repeating. I have repeated this multiple times. We are not paying tax here. We are just checking eligibility. We are just checking eligibility of composition dealer. Now, 90 plus 80 is equal to 170 lakh. My aggregate turnover have crossed 150 lakh on all India basis. Therefore, I am neither qualified under Maharashtra nor qualified to take in composition scheme in Kerala. Okay, yes sir. So what if my aggregate turnover in Maharashtra and Kerala? Maharashtra 40 lakh and Kerala 30 lakh. My aggregate turnover in both the state was like this, 40 lakh and 30 lakh. Then what will happen? Then you are eligible to take composition scheme in Maharashtra as well as Kerala. And while paying tax, please understand, while paying tax, you are going to pay tax 0.5% to central government and 0.5% to Maharashtra government. And on this 30 lakh, you are going to pay 0.5%. You are going to pay 0.5% CGST central government and 0.5% state government, which is the Kerala government. Please understand. Therefore, while paying tax, please understand, while paying tax, we check turnover in a state. While paying tax, we check turnover in state, but while checking eligibility, we check aggregate turnover on pan-India basis. My aggregate turnover on pan-India basis was 70 lakh, which is less than 150 lakh. Therefore, I'm eligible for composition scheme. But while paying tax, I have to pay 0.5% to central government and 0.5% to respective state government. Therefore, while paying tax, we check turnover in the state. While paying tax, we check turnover in the state. While checking eligibility, we check turnover on all India basis. Here you may ask me one question. One doubt may come to your mind. I told you a few minutes back, a composition dealer cannot supply interstate goods. A composition dealer cannot have interstate goods supply. If he is having interstate goods supply, then he becomes a disqualified for composition scheme. Very simple point I'm trying to put in your mind. If a composition dealer is making interstate supply of goods, he is disqualified from opting composition scheme. But here I told you, I have one branch in Maharashtra and another branch in Kerala. Am I eligible for composition scheme? Because I'm doing business in two states. So am I eligible or not eligible? Answer is yes, sir. You are eligible because you are not making interstate supply. I am actually doing multi-state business. So never get confused with multi-state business. This is one of the very common query that I always answer to student. Okay, multi-state business versus interstate business. These are the two concepts, two different concepts. Interstate business. Now, what is multi-state business? Multi-state business means there is a shop in Maharashtra and Maharashtra shop selling goods to Maharashtra people. Okay, and there is a shop in Kerala and Kerala shop is selling goods to Kerala people. So please understand, though I have shops in two different states, I am not making any interstate supply and therefore I am eligible for composition scheme. This is one thing you should understand. Apart from that, what is interstate supply? Sir, I am making supply from Maharashtra to Gujarat, Maharashtra to Kerala, Maharashtra to Karnataka, Maharashtra to Tamil Nadu. Okay, I am making supply to different states. Then this particular supply is called interstate. This guy is eligible and this guy is not eligible. Person who is making interstate supply will not be eligible for composition scheme. Person who is making multi-state business is or will be eligible for composition scheme subject to the turnover criteria on all India level basis. So this is also one clarification I need to put in your mind. The next point here. Next point. What are the rates? Rates I have discussed earlier also in last lecture. For a manufacturer, the rate is 0.5% CGST, 0.5% AGST, and 1% on turnover in state. See, while paying tax, I told you it has to be turnover in state. Okay, total turnover, total turnover. Huh? For restaurant, hotel, okay, where you take foods and all, 2.5% CGST, 2.5% HGST. So 5% again total turnover of state. But for trader, 0.5% CGST, 0.5% HGST, total 1% on only taxable supply of goods or services in the state. So here the trader is liable to pay tax only on taxable supply, whereas first two people are paying tax on total supply. Say for example, restaurant is giving you two things, food, food and fruits. Now fruits are exempt, but food is taxable. But they are not going to segregate the bill. They are going to put composition tax of 5% on total bill. On total bill. You can take example of alcohol also. If they are supplying alcoholic liquor, okay, then they are going to put tax on total supply, not on only particular taxable supply. So this is how you should understand. You know, there was one famous case law in one of the five-star hotel have charged some GST on banana. Okay, and it was very disputable point. One of the famous Bollywood actor had stayed in some five-star hotel and he ordered some banana. So first of all, they charge him 300, 400 rupees for two bananas, and then they charge GST also. So it was very uh, famous point that they are charging, five-star hotels are charging GST on banana also. Conditions and restriction. This also you need to understand for composition levy. He is neither a casual taxable person nor non-resident taxable person. So far as we call this person CTP and this person NRTP. CTP and NRTP are special taxpayers of the GST law. For them, we are having special provisions in the GST law. And the general understanding of law says special provision shall always prevail over general provision. So if assess is having two different provisions in the law, special and general, a person should always follow special provision, not a general provision. So we will talk more about CTP and NRTP when the chapter of registration starts. Goods held in the stock by a composition supplier have not been purchased from unregistered dealer. See, what we want here is this. What we want here is this. A composition dealer must not purchase any commodity from unregistered dealer, and if he purchase from unregistered dealer, he must pay tax under reverse charge basis. That means he must pay tax on his inputs which are liable to be taxed, and he cannot take credit also. Composition supplier shall pay tax under reverse charge basis 9394 on inward supply and services or both at applicable rate. Please understand, if a composition dealer is taking GTA service as the input service, a composition manufacturer is taking GTA service, goods transport agency service, as the input service, and manufacturer is liable to pay tax on his outward at 0.5% and 0.5%. So what will be the tax rate on RCM? What will be the tax rate on RCM? Will it be also 0.5, 0.5? Answer is no. For this, it will be 2.5 plus 2.5 because GTA under reverse charge mechanism is taxable at 2.5, 2.5. So what about director services? If they are taking director services under reverse charge, then 18%. So what I'm trying to say, the composition scheme is giving relaxation from tax compliance on outward supply, but a composition scheme is not giving any tax concession on inward supply. Inward supply, as it is, which are taxable on reverse charge basis, whatever rates are applicable to them, you must pay tax on that. Okay. He was engaged in a manufacturing of, he was not engaged in a manufacture of notified goods. And there is the amendment in notified goods also. So this is the amended part. If you have studied GST law earlier than this, then you must have seen only 3 items: ice cream and other edible ice, pan masala, tobacco and manufactured tobacco, substance, whatever tobacco products are there, and aerated water. Aerated water is the latest amendment here. So pan masala and tobacco are brothers. Ice cream and aerated waters are brothers. If you have not heard the word aerated water doesn't mean anything, something chemical and all. It is just a cold drink, different types of cold drink that we consume at this, cola shop or whatever it is. So ice cream and aerated waters both are not goods for your health. At the same time, pan masala and tobacco are negative commodities, or you can say, from a social angle, this is a almost crime to consume this particular product. So you need to keep this in mind. These are the negative products. If you manufacture this product, 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 then you are not eligible for composition scheme. Okay. Now here the question comes to you guys. Please understand. Here the question comes to you guys. There is one shop. Okay, you must have seen this kind of general shop, and so far as Kerala is concerned, I have seen this kind of shops all the time in Kerala. Everywhere you find these shops. Okay, this is the general store. Okay, what all the general store sales in Kerala? Okay, so some kind of pulses, maybe rice, okay, or dal or cereals. Then this guy will have soap also. This guy will have section for biscuits, biscuit and chips and other ready to consume foods. Then there will be one vegetable counter also, banana and some vegetables, onion, potato, it will be kept there. And then there will be one refrigerator also. In that refrigerator he will keep ice cream and cold drink. Okay, ice cream and cold drink. And he will also have a counter where sometime he will also have counter where he will keep pan masala, gutka, cigarettes, tobacco. So, and his turnover in the last year, I'm talking about Kerala, his turnover in last year, Kerala or Maharashtra, whatever it is, his turnover in the last year was 90 lakh. Last year turnover was 90 lakh. Is he eligible for composition scheme? This is a question to all of you. Please reply. Okay, please reply. Is he eligible for composition scheme? Will you please tell me? Do you understand my example? He's selling rice, commodities, soap, biscuits, everything, general store. Okay, vegetables, pan masala, gutka, cigarette, ice cream, cold drink. So this is the general store. Is he eligible or not eligible for composition scheme? Please tell me. E or any, eligible or not eligible? Eligible or not eligible? Eligible or not eligible? He's selling ice cream, cold drinks, pan masala, gutka along with other product. Is he eligible for composition scheme or not eligible for composition scheme? Gaurang is saying not eligible. Vijay is also saying not eligible. Omkarish is also saying not eligible. Ganesh is also saying not eligible. And balanced people are not able to understand what the question is. Okay. Just now I told you, if you are dealing in ice cream, pan masala, tobacco, and aerated waters, then he should not be engaged. This is the condition. He should not be engaged. And when I came to this word manufacture, I said this word at least for 5 to 6 times. Manufacture. Now, so far as the general store is concerned, please understand, he He is not manufacturing ice cream or tobacco or pan masala. He is a trader. He is a trader of ice cream, cold drink, pan masala and other product. Obviously, he is not manufacturing those products. So now again I am asking whether he is eligible or not eligible. The condition is he should not manufacture these four products. Whether my dealer is, whether my this general store is manufacturing this product. Hey, do you understand this? You need to have very keen attention toward these languages. Deep understanding of these provisions is required. You are going to write professional examination. Come on, tell me, this trader is eligible or not eligible now? Eligible or not eligible? Gaurang, Vijay, Omkaresh, Ganesh, please reply. Please, you guys reply. Is eligible or not eligible? So I'm going to tell you, he is eligible. He is eligible for composition scheme. Why? Because he is trading in these commodities. He is not manufacturing it. The condition is on manufacture. Is that simple? The condition is on manufacture. And just now I told you, a manufacturer is not eligible. Trader will be eligible for composition scheme. Okay. Next condition. This is just the procedural aspect condition. He should mention the words composition taxable person, not eligible to collect tax on supplies on his invoices, that on name board, everywhere he should write this. He shall mention the words composition taxable person on every notice board or signboard displayed at a prominent place at his principal place of business and other place of business. So if you have seen some of the restaurant, behind the billing counter they put this board, a composition dealer, because the other people should know the dealer here is composition dealer. So why is it required to be known? Because the composition dealer is not able to collect GST from the parties. And secondly, a composition dealer, if you are a composition dealer, then you are not able to issue tax invoice. A buyer should know this in advance. Because if you are a composition dealer, you are not going to issue a tax invoice. And buyer, if he is doing the transaction in B2B nature, then he expect a tax invoice, he expect ITC from you, and that's what you are not going to issue. So they don't want a surprise element to the buyer. They are saying you must write composition taxable person at every signboard, and that to a predominant place where it will be easily visible to the every buyer. Therefore, they put it just behind the billing counter, and that in big letters they put this particular dealer is a composition dealer. Sir, who else is not eligible for composition scheme? So just additional condition you can understand put by section 10 subsection 2. Supplier of services save as section 10(1). That means if you are a service provider, chartered accountant, cost accountant, architect, engineer, then you are not eligible for composition scheme unless and until you are under restaurant service. Then you are eligible. Apart from restaurant, no other service provider is eligible under composition scheme. And therefore, in next lecture, we are going to see a presumptive scheme which is designed for service providers. Okay, that we will discuss later on, not now. Supplier of goods which are not taxable, which are not liable to tax, or not taxable, which are not liable to tax. That means if you are having exclusive supply of petroleum goods, you are a petrol pump, you don't sell anything other than petrol, then you are not required to register under GST law. Why should you get composition scheme? Okay, because unnecessary. Why are you going to pay tax on that? Secondly, supplier of interstate outward supply of goods and services. Earlier it was goods and services, now it is only goods. Okay, You cannot make interstate supply of goods. Sir, can I make interstate supply of service? Answer is yes. If you're a cost accountant or chartered accountant and tomorrow you get an assignment to work in some other state, can you go there, execute your assignment and come back? Yes, you can supply interstate services, or there is one supplier, say for example, who is giving goods as well as services. Okay, so there is one what do you say, solar panel supplier. Okay, one guy is selling solar panels, and that solar panel supplier is giving consultancy also, how to install solar panel. So he is giving goods as well as he is giving services. So he cannot do interstate supply of goods, but he can give interstate consultancy of solar panel utilization. Person supplying goods through an electronic commerce operator. If you are registering your goods on Amazon, Flipkart, or any other electronic commerce operator, then we don't consider you remain a small trader. Now you have become a big trader, and therefore you are not eligible for composition scheme. Manufacturer of ice cream, pan masala, tobacco, and aerated water. This manufacturer word you should understand. Now, just now we have discussed that a composition dealer is not supposed to provide any, services. But last year, government amended the law and they have given little concession so far as services by composition dealer. Services by composition dealer. Now I'm giving you example. Again, one example, you will understand better with an example. There are two watch shops. Watch. Okay, you wanted to purchase watch and there are two shops. Okay, there are two shops. This shop only sells different types of goods, watches. Okay, and this shop sells watches, different types of watches. Okay, products, and they have created one corner. Where they have kept one old guy who is a service provider. He repairs watches and all. Okay, and the shopkeeper here said, if anything happens to any watch or any product sold by us, sir, you don't have to run here and there for repair of that particular product. You can just bring that product to us. We will do it for free in warranty period and for nominal charges after warranty period. So where will you go? Shop 1 or shop 2? So obviously, many people, okay, many consumers will prefer shop 2 because shop 2 is giving goods plus after sales service. Shop 2 is giving goods plus after sales services, and therefore people will always prefer shop 2 over shop 1. And therefore, Government of India have allowed this shopkeeper who is a composition dealer, to provide services to some limited extent. So what is that limited extent? A limited extent is 10% of aggregate turnover of last year. Maximum service value that you can supply in current year is 10% of aggregate turnover of last year or rupees 5 lakh, whichever is higher. 10% of aggregate turnover of the last year or rupees 5 lakh, whichever is higher. So if your turnover of last year is 40 lakh, then 4 lakh or 5 lakh, whichever is higher, that means you can supply services to the extent of 5 lakh. If your last year turnover was 70 lakh, then you can supply services to the extent of 10% of 70 lakh, that is 7 lakh, or 5 lakh, whichever is higher, that means up to 7 lakh. So what if I supply services to the extent of 9 lakh in a current year? If you supply services more than the specified limit, then you become disqualified for opting composition scheme. So look at the second proviso to section 10 subsection 1. Composition supplier should not supply services exceeding 10% of the turnover in the state or union territory in a preceding financial year, or 5 lakh, whichever is higher. So this is the note that you must understand. This is the note about order number 01/2019 CT. Interest income to be excluded while computing aggregate turnover for determining eligibility of composition scheme. This I have already explained to you in earlier paragraphs. Okay. So whether composition scheme will remain valid even if I become disqualified? Answer is no. In the moment you are you know, uh, provoking any of the conditions of this particular section 10 subsection 1 or 10 subsection 2, that moment itself your composition scheme will be withdrawn. Say for example, you started your year very nicely. In April you did intrastate supply, May you did intrastate supply, but June you started making interstate supply. So from June onwards your composition scheme will lapse and you will definitely will become normal dealer. Another example, in your current year, okay, up to December you have achieved turnover, up to December you have achieved turnover of 150 crore, up to 150 lakh. Up to December you have achieved turnover of 150 lakh. After December, can I retain the composition scheme? Answer is no. See, my time is about to end. I will continue this lecture next time. My time is over. In next lecture, I will continue the discussion. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.